प्रभुपाद की। जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। श्री गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की। सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की। श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ की। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की। नारायणं नमस्कृत श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की। नरसिंह देव प्रहलाद महाराज की। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada की जय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। मैत्रेय उवाच स एव ब्रह्मपुत्रेण कुमारेणात्ममेधस दर्शितात्मगति सम्यक् प्रस्यवाच तं नृप। मैत्रेय उवाच स एव ब्रह्मपुत्रेण कुमारेणात्ममेधस दर्शितात्मगति सम्यक् प्रशयो वाच तं नृप। मैत्रेय उवाच स एव ब्रह्मपुत्रेण कुमारानेत्ममेधस दर्शितात्मगति सम्यक् प्रशयोवाच तं नृप। SB 4.22.41 का है। अच्छा, so you go on to Veda base. He's asking for you. So you go on your phone and type 4.22.41 SP, and then there'll be a verse. So when I say Prabhuji's, then you can repeat, and then I say Mataji's, so you repeat because you're the only Mataji present here. Okay, Prabhuji's. 4.22.41 You, Prabhu? In Maitra Uvacha Sa eva Brahmaputrena Kumarayanaatma Medasa. You are next to you, better prepared. Tam Ripa. कोई ना Mataji, you say whatever you want to say, we'll say the right thing. You repeat after me, Mataji. Maitra Uvacha Sa eva Brahmaputrena Kumarenatma Medhasa Durshitatma Gati Samyak Prasya Uvacha Tam Ripa. ठीक. Maitra Uvacha, the great Maitra said, Saha, the king, Evam thus, Brahmaputrena, by the son of Lord Brahma, Kumarena, by one of the Kumaras, Atma Medhasa, well versed in spiritual knowledge, Darshita, being shown, Atmagati, spiritual advancement, Samyak, completely, Prasaya, worshipping, Uvacha, said, Tam, unto him, Nripa, the king. The great sage Maitreya continued, being thus enlightened in complete spiritual knowledge by the son of Brahma, one of the Kumaras who was complete in spiritual knowledge. The king worshipped them in the following words. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this verse, the word Atma Medhasa is commented upon by Sripad Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who says that Atmani means unto Lord Krishna, Paramatmani. Lord Krishna is Paramatma, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Brahma Samhita 5.1. Therefore, one whose mind is acting fully in Krishna consciousness is called Atma Medha. This may be contrasted to the word Grihamedhi, which refers to one whose brain is always engrossed with thoughts of material activities. The Atma Medhasa is always thinking of Krishna's activities in Krishna consciousness. Since Sanat Kumar, who is a son of Lord Brahma, was fully Krishna conscious, he could point out the path of spiritual advancement. The word Atmagati refers to the path of activities by which one can make progress in understanding. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I bow down in front of all you Vaishnavas seeking empowerment to speak something on today's verse. Prabhu, I haven't prepared much, so I wish to speak on whatever topic you devotees decide. So, is there any specific pastime or any specific topic you would like me to speak on? Brahmacharis can say, and future brahmacharis can also say. कुछ है? Anything specific you want me to discuss? Bhushan. Is there anything specific, Prabhu? Is there anything specific you want me to discuss? Because I haven't prepared much. Vipin Prabhu. कुछ तो pastime? Any favorite pastime of yours? Okay. Um, since devotees are being very humble, I'll speak whatever comes in my mind. Um, so, if you see here, Prabhupada in his verse, in his purport, is talking about the word Atma Medhasa, and he's quoting Sripad Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, that Atma Medhasa means Krishna conscious, or onto Lord Krishna Paramatmani. So we understand that. So why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying this is because he wants everyone to have this crystal clear in their mind that when we talk about Atma Medhasa, it is not about some unmanifested Brahman in the somewhere in the sky. It is not. In fact, it is not some Nirgun Nirakar or Alak Niranjan which people usually refer Krishna as, but he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sham Sundar Shikhanda Shekhar Rasik Shiromani, Sri Radha Gopinath, Sri Radha Madhav, Sri Radha Raman, Radha Sham Sundar. That is whom we are referring to, and that is very important to understand because there are Mayavadis, and there are Mayavadis, right? There are Mayavadis, and there are different types of Vedantists. There are different types of um, other personalities who have different pursuits in life, except the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So they don't want to surrender onto the beautiful form of Krishna. They're not attracted to the beautiful form of Krishna. That is why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the beginning, it is called nibbing it in the bud. He is saying that Atma Medhasa, it means Krishna conscious, one who Ramante Yogino Anante Satyananda Chidatmani, Iti Rama Pade Nasho Parabrahma Videyate. The the ones whose the one whose heart and the one whose mind is always around circling the lotus feet of Krishna. That is whom we are referring to. And then in later in later texts, Prabhupada is talking about in his purport that there are two types of people. One who are Krishna conscious, who are Atma Medhasa, and then the others who are Graha Medhas or Graha Medis. So who are these Graha Medis? I welcome both of you to join today's Bhagavatam class with us. So who are Krishna conscious? Who are Graha Medis? What is the difference? So Atma Medhas are ones who who think that there is something beyond eating, mating, sleeping, defending. There's something beyond earning money in life. There's something beyond uh, tending for our bodily needs. Dehina Shanabhangura. I'll share a very. What happened was, I think it was last week, I was driving to my university. So I was in a haste because I was getting late for my class. So I took my shoes, and it was the rainy season. So I wore my shoes. I just hastily wore my shoes, and I drove all the way till UNSW. And all throughout, are you guys also in UNSW? So all throughout, I could feel that there's something in my shoes, and I thought there must be some leaf or something stuck in my shoe. So I went all the way to UNSW, and when I just pressed on my brake and I just parked and I was about to get off my car, at that time, just like someone pinches or someone pricks you with a needle. I felt that on my feet, and I realized that it was something more than a leaf. I took off my shoe in haste, and I saw there was a huntsman spider stuck in my shoes, and someone from India who's not really used to seeing spiders. I was dead scared, and I took off my shoe and I threw it, and I was embarrassed because other people in the parking lot, I don't know what they would think about me. So at that time, I saw that the huntsman crawled out of the shoe and was coming out, and I felt very sorry that for so long it had to suffer because it was stuck in my shoe, and it crawled, and it might have crawled 2 meters, 2 centimeters. that a magpie came, and it took the magpie, took the spider in its beak, and started demolishing the little soft body of that huntsman. And I went ahead to scare the magpie and also to take a photo because I was very curious of this entire incident. Also because I work as a receptionist, so I thought at a medical practice, so I thought that I'll go back to some doctors and say, oh, this was a spider which stung me. I hope it's not poisonous. So I went close to the magpie. The magpie flew, but it took the spider with it, and I I even if I wanted to save the life of the spider, I couldn't. So at that time, this verse sprung in my heart, Dehina Shanabhangura. That just like how the um, अब जुगनू को इंग्लिश में क्या कहते हैं? जुगनू को. So there's a fly which emits certain light. Huh? Fireflies, yes, bro. PhD. So there was a firefly. You just like how a firefly in the night, the firefly thinks that I'm illuminating the whole sky because there's so much light emanating out of the body of the firefly that all it sees around itself is just light. So the firefly in the night, it thinks that I am illuminating the entire existence. But when the sun rises, then the pride of the firefly is rammed into dust because it realizes that actually it's the sun which illuminates the entire sky. So Dehi Nam Shanabhangura, that just like the pride, short-lived pride of the firefly, this body is just Dehi Nam Shanabhangura. It's very temporary. So who are Atma Medhasa and who are Graha Medhi? Graha Medhis are the people who think, oh, this body is mine, and all relationships related to this body are mine. If my parents are my eternal parents, my husband, my girlfriend, my boyfriend are my eternal soulmates. So all they think is according to this bodily platform. They don't think something beyond. And that is what you think is what you do. So that is what they think, and those are the types of activities they are engaged in. So they don't have anything beyond any pursuits beyond beyond satisfying the senses of their body. Whereas, so they are called Graha Medhis, that one whose mind is always surrounded by the thoughts of defending, of what my house is like, what my members of the house are like, how can I satisfy or gratify my senses more. So that is what a Graha Medhi thinks. Whereas an Atma Medhasa or an Atma Medhi thinks that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. Because Jivera Sarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas, he does not identify himself with this body. He thinks that this body is just like a temporary covering, right? So today, if I'm wearing this kurta and if I wear this throughout the day, it'll be dirty, it'll be smelly, and then the next day I'm putting it in the dryer, I'm putting it in the washer and then the dryer. So I'm not feeling separation for this kurta. I'll wear a new cloth. So Atma Medhasi realizes that that my body is temporary, and all these relationships which are born out of this body are also temporary and supposed to die with this with this body, with this covering, and therefore it's short-lived. Obviously, the lifespan of this body is longer than the lifespan of that firefly, but if you actually look at the time since the entire universe has existed, and then you count your existence in it, it's like a popcorn, pop and pop. So it is just like a short-lived firefly's life. It's as small as that. Sri Radhanath Maharaj, in his example, he says that the fly, it borns, it takes birth in the morning, and by night it has lived its life and it turns old, and it dies of old age. And if there was a queen of these fireflies who could award that firefly to live a long life. Then they would have an award ceremony for for that firefly because he was able to cover the complete cycle from morning to night. So that is how short-lived that firefly is. But actually, we are also that short-lived. If we compare our existence to Brahma's day and Brahma's night, then our lives are way shorter than than the lives of the firefly. So an Atma Medhasa person is he who thinks that there's something beyond this body. There's something beyond. There's beyond my daily activities, earning money, spending money, um, earning for 1 week and then being broke again in on Friday and then going back to work and then being broke. I'm trying to make it relatable for uni students like you and me. So, and then studying, failing, passing, and all of that. So that is all born out of this body. A human being has to strive so much to earn an ends meet. Whereas if you look at a little bird, its life is less miserable than us. It just has to fly around 2 meters in the sky, look for some rice grains or some leftover food. It eats and it goes back to its nest and it chills. That's all it has to do. An elephant eats 20 tons a day, and all he has to do is go into the forest, look for twigs, trees, grass, trunks, eat, sleep, mate, repeat. That is how simple the life of an elephant is. But for a human being, he has to work. Then he has to go to coals. Then he has to look for wheat, and then he'll find out that coals does not have wheat; it has maida. Then it'll find an Indian store around. It'll go to an Indian store like me. We'll go to an Indian store. We'll look for atta, and then come back, knead it, make rotis, and then those rotis won't be proper circle, and then I'll be finicky about that. And then look for, because electrical induction, you're not able to have those fluffy rotis. Then you look for a gas, and then you put it on it, and then you have to eat it. So just for that roti, a human has to strive so much. But a bird, it just has to look around, fly 2 meters, find grains, and the bird will be satisfied. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Pad is saying that a person who realizes the dualities of life and is able to realize that there's something beyond that duality is Atma Medhasa. And what is beyond that life? It is not some light or some inconceivable, unmanifested, indescribable illumination or enlightenment. It is simply what you see over here, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. That is what your shelter is, because there's a saying, no, जाके what is that? जाके रहे भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत देखी तिन तैसी. That if someone says this is just materialistic, material components coming together, and some artist has made a deity out of it and put it on the altar, then he'll see Radha Gopinath as a deities. But if someone sees Radha Gopinath as the Lord's compassion, Lord's Archa Avatar, that he has accepted to manifest as the deity to take service from us, then he's not marble. He is the same Golok Vihari Sri Radha Gopinath, Sri Radha Raman. So we have to have this Atma Medhasa. That is why Medha is it translates to intelligence in English. So if a person uses his intelligence to realize that I'm not this body and I'm a spirit soul, and that spirit soul is the servant of the Supreme Soul, then one will able to see Krishna and Srimati Radharani sitting over there. Shriman Rasa Rasarambhi Vamshi Vatar Tatastitha Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinath Shriyastuna. Shriman Rasa Rasarambhi, the one who starts the ras. Actually, this material world is also ras, but it is the perverted reflection of the ras. In ras, all the gopis are blissful, they are enjoying Krishna's association. In material world, we are all trying to dance and we are all trying to enjoy, without the association of Krishna. So, how that materialistic setup turns into a spiritual ras is when we realize that what I'm doing is not real enjoyment. What I'm doing is not real enjoyment. It is Dehina Shanabhangura. It is very short lived. But the same spirit soul, because although I change this kurta, my body does not cease to exist. It will exist, right? So even if I give up my body, my soul will still be there. And better is if my soul gets free from this temporary manifestation, this temporary setup, and gets an entry into the permanent ras of Krishna, where everyone is enjoying with Krishna. Shriman Rasa Rasa Rambhi Vamshi Vatatatastita. And what is that Krishna doing? Krishna very playfully, very nicely, he knows he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's with his very uh, his coy attitude. He's standing under the under the tree, Vamshi Vatatatastita, and playing on his flute. Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinath Shrisun, and he's making the gopis fall madly in love with him. It is said that throughout the day, the gopis wear earrings, right? So earrings, this is a very poetic way of saying how gopis are attracted to the flute of Krishna. So throughout the day, the guard is on the ears of the gopis. So when Krishna's flute, the sound of Krishna's flute enters the ear holes of gopis. When they're about to enter, the guard stops the sound of the flute of Krishna. So the gopis are still able to resist themselves. So, but in the night, when the gopis take out all their jewelry and they're all prepared to sleep, they take out their earrings. And at that time, when Krishna is standing on the Vamshivat and the sound of Krishna's flute is entering, there's no guard on the on the door to stop, and it enters through the ear holes, and it enters through the ear holes, and it reaches the chambers of the heart, and it takes that love of the gopis, and it runs away. And when someone steals something from your house, what is the first thing you can do? If you see the thief running away, would you call the cops or would you try to chase the thief? You're a very sensible soul, Prabhu. A person like me, if I'm able to see the thief running away, I will actually chase him. We need more sensible souls like you. So an impulsive person like me would chase the thief. So that's why the gopis, when they see that Krishna's sound, Pravishta Karna Randrena, that Krishna's the flute, the sound of Krishna's flute has entered our ear holes, and through our ear holes entered our heart and stolen the love of Krishna from us, then we must run and take it back. So the gopis, just like how iron filings are attracted to magnet, the gopis run to the forest to chase that sound. And when they chase that sound, they reach the adda, they reach the main adda of all the thieves, which is Krishna. And then Krishna very innocently says, "Oh gopis, why are you here? I haven't called you. Oh Krishna, you've stolen the biggest jewel in our heart, and you say you haven't called us. You've taken our love, you've charmed us like anything." And that is what the gopi is saying, and that is Gopinath. So one meaning can be for whom the Lord of the gopis is one meaning, but the other meaning is for whom the gopis is his Lord. So for Gopinath, for Krishna, and at that time he tries to tell the gopis, you are from good families, coming out in the middle of the night, if that too just to see a stranger boy like me, it is not nice for you. It is not nice for your reputation. Why are you here? I was just trying to enjoy the scenic beauty of Vrindavan. It is the full moon, Sharad moon. It is so nice. I was just playing my flute over here. I did not mean to call any of you. Why have you come? And then the gopis tell Krishna, "Oh Krishna, you've stolen our hearts, and now you've called us, and now you are abandoning us." And then Krishna said, no, but you already have husbands at home, and you should be chaste to your husbands, you should serve him. Why are you here? And then the gopis tell Krishna a story. Mataji, you should sit on a mat, it is very cold. Oh, you're sitting on a mat, okay. So then gopis tell Krishna a story. And the story is that there was one wife, very chaste wife, and what she would do is she would not eat anything before she sees the face of her husband. So one time it so happened that the husband had to go for some business, had to go to a different town. So what he did was he made a portrait of himself and he gave it to his wife, and he said that what you do is, your rule is you offer me food and then you eat. So you offer this portrait, you offer food to this portrait, and you see the face of this portrait, which is me, and then you eat. And the wife said, okay. So the husband went, and the wife did what the husband said. She was looking at the face of the husband, and she was eating every day. And when the husband came back, the wife was still looking at the portrait and eating, and offering the food to the portrait and eating. So then the gopis asked Krishna, is that a very sensible thing to do? Because now the husband's back. So if she's actually chaste, what she wants is she should serve her husband and not the portrait anymore. So similarly, O Krishna, our husbands are representations of you, and when we have an opportunity to directly serve you, then why should we serve a person whose relationship is with this body and not with the soul? O Krishna, our relationship with you is not born out of our bodies; it is born out of our soul. Because Krishna, you are the you're the Paramatma, you're the supreme, you're the super soul, and we are souls. So our relationship with you is eternal, whereas this temporary relationship which we have with our husbands is just bodily conscious. So that being said, if you have an affair outside marriage, that is not Vedic, because the gopis were lucky because they had an affair with Krishna, who also happens to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are allowed to be rebels with your husbands if he stops you from coming to the temple. That is allowed, because then you will be serving Krishna. But you can't have some other man in your life when you are committed to one and say, oh, I'm having an affair with that. This is bodily connection, what I have with my husband, and then with my boyfriend it is with my heart. No, you can't say that. The caution is that you come onto that platform where you realize that there's no love in this world. Actually, all what there is lust in the packaging of love. Because what lust is, because you are pleasing to my senses, that is why I love you. I love rasgulla, and I'm going to eat that rasgulla. So that is actually lust. I like this flower, and I'm going to pluck it. That is lust. But I took the life of the flower. So that is not love. But gopis, why they're saying this is because they know that in our association, Krishna is the one who's going to enjoy. So the only reason why they want to be with Krishna is because they know Krishna enjoys their association. So that is love. So I wasn't really prepared to speak much on this, but because Radha Ashtami is coming on 28th, I guess? 31st. So because Radha Ashtami is coming, we want to build up to Srimati Radharani's pastimes and glorify Srimati Radharani's love. So in that Ras Leela, Krishna leaves all these gopis. Do you know the verse? Anya radhito nunam bhagwan harishwara yenno vihaya govinda prito yat ananyat raha something. So anya aradhito nunam. So Krishna leaves all these gopis and he chases Srimati Radharani deep in the forests, and there Srimati Radharani and Madhav, they have their pastimes. So all the gopis, they think, oh, Krishna, and when Krishna leaves them, then gopis feel intense separation. Anyway, I won't get into the specifics of Ras Leela because we are not qualified to discuss the Ras Panchadhyay, at least not from the lips of a person like me. But why I'm making this point is that Grahamedis have a miserable life because all they are thinking about is how can I keep this body afloat. Well, even if you try your level best, still you cannot escape death. After you, yes, you should take good care of your body because body is a temple of the Lord. Through this body, you are engaged in the service of the Lord. But even if you try your level best, maximum is you'll be able to have good 70, 60, 80 years of life. But after that, death is inevitable. You can't escape the clutches of Yamraj, of death. Better is start preparing for your afterlife. Bhakti Vinod Thakur in one of his bhajans, he's saying Vrishabhanu Pure Jaipo Ami. So he's making plans that next life I will take birth in Vrishabhanupur. I'll take birth in Barsana. And when Radharani gets married, and then I'll go to Yavut with her, and then I'll serve her there. So we have souls, Grahamedis, who are miserable because they're constantly thinking about how and what I'll do with this life. But then we have Krishna Medhasa or we have Atma Medhasa who are blissful, who are waiting for death to come. So that next birth they are able to take in Barsana, and then not just their birth, they've also prepared about where they want to get married and whom they want to get married to. They're saying that they want to get married to a Gopa in Yavut. So when Radharani gets married to Yavut, I'll go to Yavut and I'll serve Srimati Radharani over there. So this is the consciousness. Devotees eat the same rice which non-devotees eat. Devotees eat the same dal which non-devotee would eat. But the difference is, just like a water droplet, if it falls on an iron rod, a hot iron rod, it just evaporates. If the same droplet drops on a lotus leaf, it looks beautiful for some time, but then again it mixes with the pond, with the water in the pond. But if the same droplet of the water falls in inside an oyster, that's where you find the pearls, right? So if the same water droplet falls inside an oyster, it becomes a beautiful pearl. So it is so from tomorrow onwards, it is not that you do something different. It is said great people don't do different things. They do the same things differently. So tomorrow, yes, still we might have to struggle might have to go for work, might have to study, strive our best to pass our exams, drive to the university, do the same things, but with a different consciousness that I'm doing this to serve Krishna. And then not just thinking like that, it's a verb. Service is a verb, it's not a noun. So it has to come in practice also. Come to the temple, serve Shri Radha Gopinath, engage in services, be excited that Srimati Radharani's appearance day is coming, Radha Ashtami is coming. Look forward to that day. Come to the temple, serve with devotees, celebrate, dance, sing, have a beautiful festival. So, in that way, what you are getting is you're getting a glimpse of that permanent life, that permanent lifestyle in the spiritual world. So, I think it is time. We'll stop here. Point summarizing is that a Grahamedi is always thinking about me and mine. Janasya moha aham mameti. But a spiritualist is always thinking about how I can use these senses in Krishna's service. What I can do to enrich my Krishna consciousness. What I can do better to serve Shri Radha Gopinath. So that should be our mood. And how do we develop that mood? Is through listening. Pravishta karnarandrena swana bhavasurorham dhunoti shamalam Krishna chalilyasya yatha sharat. Gopi's hearts were stolen by Krishna. Why? Because the guard was off and the flute entered the heart. And when the flute sound entered the heart, it evoked the love for Krishna. Similarly, as devotees, as practicing devotees, if we listen about Krishna, what happens is Krishna enters through our ear holes, enters our heart, and then Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna, with a broom, he starts cleaning our heart of all the anarthas of lust, anger, greed, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मद, मोह, मात्सर्य. It's हमने रट लिया है वो, but we still yet to realize what it is. So Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Shalilya Sethashrat. And then, because when magnet is old, or when iron is rusted, it's difficult for magnet to get attracted to iron. But when you clean the rust, you don't have to do anything. It is the nature of magnet to get attracted to the iron. So what Krishna does is through our ear holes, he enters our heart, and then he enters our heart and he cleans those that rusting, and then our heart is soft, our heart is clean, and that's when that butter thief comes and steals our soft heart and takes us with him. So please always be enthusiastic about listening to the glories of Krishna and listening to the glories of Krishna Katha, and look forward to Radhashtami. Engage your mind, body, senses in Krishna's service. Whatever you do, Madarpanam, offer it to Krishna, and your life will be perfect. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaved Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Questions, comments, feedback? Do you guys have any questions? You guys are getting VIP treatment today. Comments? You have a question? So my counter question to you is that when you are getting Krishna, when you are getting kheer, then why are you chasing milk? When you are getting that enjoyment of being in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Radha Gopinath, then why do you just want liberation from the material manifestation, from the material misery? You are saying that but when you enter the spiritual world, then these things are not there. Why Kuntha, right? There's no Kuntha. So when Prabhupada is saying that Atma Medisa, which refers to one whose brain is always engrossed with thoughts of material activities, and then Atma Medisa is always thinking of Krishna's activities in Krishna consciousness. When Prabhupada himself is saying that thinking of Krishna's activities in Krishna consciousness, then why do you just want to think about getting free from material miseries? Is what my question is. When you can think about the activities of Krishna, that is not very esoteric to think about. So, what Prabhuji is saying that there are three types of people who have different realizations of God: Brahma, Brahman, Paramatman, and Bhagwan. So there are some people who don't have anything to do with Krishna or Krishna's beautiful form. All they want to do is they realize that this material world is a constant cage of suffering, where you get some happiness and then a lot of suffering, and then get some happiness and then a lot of suffering. So let me just escape this cage and go out. So that is those are usually the types of people who want to get onto the platform of Brahman, where they are mixed, they merged into that light, into that inconceivable higher power. Because when they are with that power and the powers of the material manifestation does not trouble them anymore. So that is the Brahmavadis. And then there are Paramatmans who realize Krishna's existence everywhere. There's a verse, Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga apavarga narkeshu apitulyartha darshanam. So for them, swarga, lower planetary systems, higher planetary systems, beyond higher planetary systems, all of it is same because they see Narayan everywhere. So they are slightly better, because they are slightly less selfish, because because now they see Krishna everywhere. So even if they are in the material world, they are suffering. They know they are suffering for Krishna. Just like when a mother breastfeeds her child, and if the child bites the mother is actually happy that, oh, my child is teething. So they realize, oh, Krishna is everywhere. But then highest is where our entire existence is just to please Krishna. So here Prabhupada says that thinking of Krishna's activities in Krishna consciousness, then when you're getting kheer, when you're getting the highest understanding of Krishna consciousness, of God consciousness, then why do you just want to get rid of the material cage? Just like if I give you 1,000 rupees, 10 rupees is included in that 1,000 rupees. So why do you just want to chase 10 rupees? Prabhupada said, chase the rhinos. If you pass, if you're able to chase the rhinos, people will glorify you. You were able to chase the rhinos. And if you fail, people will say, oh, it was anyway difficult to chase rhinos. Who can chase rhinos? So both way you are victorious. So point is that Atma Medasa can mean a lot of things. But if you identify yourself as a Vaishnav, for you Atma Medasa means serving Sri Radha Gopinath, aiming to serve the lotus feet of Sri Radha Gopinath. Does that answer your question? Future Brahmachari ji, any question? Any question, bro? Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaved Pakravrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Prabhu. Thank you so much, bro. Vaishnavs ki jai.